Forget about just getting by. I'm here to help you shatter financial generational curses so you can go from broke to breakthrough. As always, I'm diving deep with you into the untold truths and strategies that can help you transform your financial destiny. This isn't about quick fixes. It's about creating lasting change. If you're ready to take control, let's band together to make financial freedom your reality. All right, let's start off at the heart of it all. And we're going to talk about economic cycles. Let's imagine a roller coaster. Well, that's our economy. Peaks, troughs, screams, and thrills, the whole nine. But we're here to learn to ride that thing, not to fear it. We're going to start right over here at the base of this economic cycle. And the first thing you're going to see is that we're going to have that recovery phase. That means short-term interest rates are going to start to fall. There'll be some stimulus coming from the government and things like we've seen after COVID. That's right down here at the trough. And then we're going to get into that early upswing phase where people are going to get more confident. There'll be some healthy economic growth. Inflation is not going to be going crazy yet. And we're going to have rates kind of neutral. Bonds are going to be stable and the stock market's going to be strong and starting to pick up. And then we're going to swing up here to basically the top. And the funny thing about the top is that this is when a lot of people start to FOMO in and buy their crypto and their stocks and everything as well, without understanding that what goes up must come down, and we're on our way right down into a recession or whatever we're in right now, the government, where they're refusing to call it a recession, but it has all these signs of one. But it's funny because I think the market feels like we should be here, seeing a lot of things behave as if we're in this space. But the first thing that I always like to look at when I want to understand where the market is, I probably look at this every day just to get a better picture. Because remember, this market that we live in is totally irrational. There's no logic behind it. I don't care what anybody says. It's driven by humans, and humans have emotions. So when I look at this now, I can see what's green and what's not. And if you can see that technology sector here, a lot of green. Nvidia's down, but it probably just topped out because AI was going crazy. But the market overall is fairly healthy. But when I go over here and I dig a bit deeper and I look at the seasonality trends, I'm like, okay, I can see what, same thing I see in another chart. I see that technology's up. Remember, if you go back to our economic cycles, it's gonna be when people are spending money, when those cycles are actually up. So it's like, okay, if people feel like we should be here and we feel like we should be getting those policies and those rate cuts, which we haven't, we're just getting holes, kind of like a wait and see approach forever, because honestly, the government doesn't even really know what to do. And there's a lot of political risk in cutting too fast because they don't want that cycle to spin back around and shoot us right back up and down through this cycle. So, but people feel like we should be entering here. So you can see that the market is looking relatively strong, but the thing that scares me about it is that the market feels like we should be here. But when I look back and I look at the seasonality charts and I'm like, okay, tech is moving. Remember, tech is just consumer discretionary, right? It's things that you buy when you feel like you have money or you feel like it's a good time to put it on credit. So I dig deep into this stuff and I encourage you to do it as well. Like on this channel, I'm not going to go in and say, oh, you should invest in that. I'm happy to pick a stock or an ETF or whatever and actually break down the numbers behind it and teach you how to fish, but not actually throw the fish at you. I want to teach you how to do this to build generational wealth for your family so you can survive in every market. And that's why we're diving deep into stuff like looking at sectors. So when I dive in and I can see Microsoft, Apple, Nvidia, Google, Amazon, Google, Meta, Taiwan Semiconductors. If you don't know, this is a company who makes all the chips for your Apple iPhones and computers and everything else. But I love to like dig deeper. As I dig through this, I see, okay, JP Morgan Chase, financial services, AMJ, which is another subsidiary of JP Morgan Chase. We got Tesla here, who's starting to come up a little bit. We got Visa, we got Walmart. So what I'm looking for right now is more financial and MasterCard. So I'm starting to see something here that's interesting to me. I feel like the market feels like we should be in a recovery phase and it should be okay to spend money. That's why you see the market looking a little bit stronger in these heat maps from what we can see, because there's a time last year where all of this was red, but the market's looking a little bit stronger. But what's the foundation of that? And as somebody who's looking to build generational wealth and make smart investments and not just jump on bandwagons, you got to slow down and look at the big picture. So what I'm seeing in this big picture is when I look at seasonality, I'm like, okay, I can see people are buying a ton of tech and a bunch of stuff that you buy when you feel like you have money. But also JP Morgan Chase, Visa, MasterCard are up there is doing well too. So I'm just a bit afraid that people are charging these things that they can't afford because they feel like the market should be at a point of recovery, or they're expecting rate cuts that haven't been promised yet. Don't get me wrong, I personally feel like they'll come later this year, but if you're looking at this and looking at the traditional financial advice, they'll say, okay, when the market's strong and people are buying tech, you should go all in and pull your cash out because rates are probably going to come down and it's better to invest, blah, 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 blah. But if you're like me and you like to look at the big picture and the macroeconomics and what I want to teach everybody watching this, we're going to zoom out and look at that big picture. And personally, I feel like we should proceed with caution. And that's actually what you can see from your Jerome Powells and the Fed chairs as well. The market feels like there should be cuts coming. They should be spending money. But when I look at that chart and I see that there's financial services also doing okay, and JP Morgan Chase and your Visas and your MasterCards are also pushing up, it makes me feel like people are charging for things that they can't afford. So this may not be sustainable. We may just be in a bubble and we may drop right back down, especially if people don't get those cuts as soon as they want to get them. So that's what I talk about when I mention economic cycles and what I want all of you to understand as well. I know everyone's seen one of those pie charts before that shows your portfolio and how to diversify across sectors, but hopefully with that quick breakdown of cycles, you can understand a little bit more. Instead of just seeing a pie chart, you can go, okay, now I know where we're at in the market and I can look at it and get a deeper overview of actually what's happening and not just following people saying, oh, save your money, invest in this, pick this stock, this is booming. We don't want to talk about this stuff. We want to learn how to fish so we can do this stuff ourselves to break those financial generational curses for our family, because it's not just a dream, it's a mission. And I tell you, it's entirely possible with the right knowledge and tools. Every step we take is a step away from broke towards breakthrough. Stay tuned, dive deep with me, and let's transform your financial world together. Let's make this journey to financial freedom a collective victory for all of us. Until next time, peace.